A wild fox kept destroying their backyard. Then they realized what she was really looking for. Every night, a wild fox kept coming into this family's backyard and tearing something apart. One night it was the trampoline. Another night she went after the foam around the poles. She scratched at the ground, paced around the yard, then disappeared into the darkness. And the strangest part was that she never seemed interested in food. She wasn't trying to get inside the house either. She kept returning to the same part of the yard, staring at it for what felt like forever. Why does she keep coming back here? The family wondered. At first, they thought she was just a nuisance. But after a few nights, they started to realize she wasn't there to cause trouble. She was looking for something. And they had no idea that the answer was sitting quietly inside their house. Just a few days earlier, their 5-year-old daughter had been outside when she noticed something trapped in the backyard. She grabbed a camera and started filming. "I think this is either a fox or a cat," she said. The family had no idea what they were dealing with until they finally managed to get the little animal free. It was a baby fox. And the moment they picked him up, they knew something was wrong. He was incredibly weak. When they placed him on the ground, he could barely move. They called local wildlife rescue groups, hoping someone could come and take over. But because of the lockdown, many of the organizations didn't have enough people available. So the family did what they could. They kept the little fox warm, they fed him, they cleaned him, and slowly he began to change. Their daughter became attached almost immediately. "I want to call him Softie," she said, and pretty soon everyone was calling him that. He had become part of their daily routine. They checked on him in the morning, they watched him sleep, they made sure he was eating, they celebrated every little sign that he was getting stronger. Then came the morning when Softie tried to stand. He pushed himself up, wobbled for a second, and took a few tiny steps before sitting back down. That was it. But to the family, it felt huge. "It's like watching a child take their first steps," they said. "You're shocked, but you're so proud." And Softie kept getting stronger. But something else started happening too. He began looking outside. He'd stop in the middle of the yard and listen. Sometimes he'd stare toward the trees for several seconds. If he heard a noise outside, his ears would go up immediately. It was almost as if he was waiting for someone. So the family started putting him outside at different times of the day, and even at night, hoping his mother might find him. But she never came. At least, that's what they thought. Then one night, the fox appeared. She came into the backyard and started tearing things apart again. She attacked the trampoline. She chewed at the foam. She paced back and forth, stopping every few seconds to look around. The family watched from a distance. What is she doing? Nobody knew. Then they noticed something. She wasn't looking at them. She wasn't looking at the house. She wasn't looking for food. She kept searching the yard. And suddenly, the family looked at each other. Because there was only one thing in that backyard that hadn't been there before: Softie. The fox wasn't angry. She wasn't trying to scare them away. She was desperate. She was looking for her baby. And the family could only imagine what those days had been like for her. Somewhere out there, she had lost her little one. She had probably searched through the neighborhood, followed every scent she could find, and somehow ended up back in this yard. The family had fallen in love with Softie by then. Their daughter especially wanted to keep him. And honestly, they probably wanted to keep him too. He was safe with them. He knew their voices. He had become part of their routine. But there was one problem. Softie wasn't theirs to keep. He had a mother. And now she was standing outside, searching for him. So the family decided to give them a chance. They placed Softie inside a basket and came up with a simple pulley system that would let them raise him when his mother came close. The idea was to get him high enough for her to hear him and recognize that her baby was still alive. Before they let him go, someone picked him up for one last cuddle. Softie didn't know it was goodbye, but they did. After all those days of feeding him, keeping him warm, watching him struggle to stand, and cheering when he finally walked, letting him go was harder than they expected. Their little girl wanted him to stay. And maybe a part of the adults did too. But sometimes the right decision isn't the one that makes you happiest. It's the one that's best for someone who can't make the decision for themselves. So they waited. The backyard grew quiet. The sky got darker. Nothing happened. Then someone looked toward the edge of the garden. She's there. Everyone froze. The mother fox was watching. She was close enough now. "Go get your baby," someone whispered. Nobody moved. They didn't want to scare her away. For a few seconds, she just stood there. Then she took a step forward. Another. She stopped. Softie was there. And then she moved closer. The family could barely see through the darkness, but they knew what was happening. She had found him. The mother fox picked up her baby and carried him away. And just like that, Softie disappeared into the night. The family stood there watching the darkness long after the two foxes were gone. They were happy. But there was also that strange feeling you get when someone you love leaves your life for the right reason. Their daughter had wanted to keep him. They had all grown attached to him. But now they knew something they hadn't understood when they first found him. They hadn't been his new family. They had only been the people who helped him get back to his old one. Somewhere out there, Softie was finally where he belonged, growing up with his mother, learning to hunt, exploring the woods, and becoming a wild fox instead of a family pet. Maybe he'll never remember the people who kept him warm. Maybe he'll never remember the little girl who gave him his name. And that's okay. Because they didn't rescue Softie so he would stay with them. They rescued him so he could go home. And maybe that's something worth remembering when we talk about loving animals. Sometimes love looks like holding them close. And sometimes the hardest kind of love is opening your hands and letting them walk away. Have you ever had to let an animal go even though you desperately wanted to keep them? If you have, I'd love to hear what happened in the comments. Sometimes those goodbye stories are the ones that stay with us the longest.